Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360-degree session. In today's session, we are going to discuss two very important news articles. The first one is regarding the RBI that has provided relaxation for the exports through the warehouses in the Bharat Mart in UAE. So what is this Bharat Mart? What are the relaxations that have been provided? So this is what we have to discuss in today's session, okay? So today we will be discussing the idea and the whole news article we will be discussing, and this was in the RBI website also, so this becomes very important, okay? So this is very important from the objective point of view of the examination. The next news article is regarding the BHIM launches UPI Circle. So UPI Circle is very important that we have to discuss that what are the features of the UPI Circle, and then we will discuss that how the BHIM has launched the UPI Circle in what manner, okay? So with partial delegation, so what is the meaning of full delegation, what is the meaning of partial delegation, all of this we are going to discuss in today's session, okay? So give me a thumbs up if I am clearly audible and visible and everything is fine, and let's move forward with these news articles. Both of them are very important from the objective point of view of the examination. UPI Circle, you can understand that this is a very important feature of the UPI, and that's why a direct question can come from the UPI Circle, okay? So let's get started. Before that, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap and do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you continue getting the relevant videos, and do join the Telegram channel where you will get the PDF of the session, and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below, okay? So this is the idea. Now let's move forward and let's start with the first news article, that is the Reserve Bank of India has provided relaxation. Now RBI has relaxed the norms, has relaxed the rules to facilitate export through warehouses in the Bharat Mart. So let's understand about the Bharat Mart first. But before that, Bharat Mart is a multimodal logistics network. So see, whenever we discuss about the logistics, we always think about the transportation system, that okay, the railways are getting connected, or the railways are taking the product from one place to other place, the ships are taking the products from one place to other place. But logistics is not only about the transportation system. Logistics is the whole system in which even the warehouses are involved, okay? So logistics is the overall process of managing how the resources are acquired, how they are stored, how they are transported to a final destination. So this is the logistics. So logistics is not only about transportation, it is not only about railways, waterways and such. It is also about the storage of the products, okay? So whenever we discuss the logistics, we see the logistics from the perspective of the whole process of transporting the product from one place to another place, as well as storing the products in the right temperature in the right place, okay? Multimodal logistics means that the logistics, that is the transportation and the storage that is happening, and the multimodal logistics means that the transportation is happening through the railways, through the connectivity of railways, waterways and such, through the connectivity of the railways, the ships and the roadways and such, okay? So this is the idea. Now let's discuss the Bharat Mart in detail so that you get the idea of the multimodal logistics. So first of all, this is the project design of Bharat Mart. This is the project design of the Bharat Mart. So it is noteworthy. Now this is taken from PIB, okay? So it is noteworthy that Prime Minister of our country as well as the Prime Minister of UAE, of the that is the ruler of Dubai, they laid the foundation stone of the Bharat Mart at Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone in Dubai on February 14, 2024. So the foundation stone was laid down for the Bharat Mart at Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone, and this is a very big trade zone in Dubai. And here you can see that this is the project design of Bharat Mart. Now through this Bharat Mart, there is a better connectivity between India and UAE, or there is a better trade system in between India and UAE, and to boost the trade between India and UAE, this was the idea. This was the Bharat Mart that was established, okay? So this will propel, this Bharat Mart will boost the India-UAE bilateral trade further by leveraging the Jebel Ali port's strategic location and strength in logistics, and further boost the India's exports to the world, not only to UAE. So the Bharat Mart, this is the project design of the Bharat Mart. This is getting established in Dubai in the Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone. this will not only increase or boost the trade relations between India and UAE, but it will also boost the exports of our country to other parts of the world, especially to the Middle East and the areas that are easily connected with the UAE. Okay, so this is the idea. Now the Bharat Mart will not only be like the warehouses for the Indian exporters, but it will also have the retail spaces, it will also have the retail stores. So this whole Bharat Mart, you can understand that it will have the retail stores, it will have the retail stores, it will be like your Chroma that you have, or the Reliance stores that you have, or the D-Mart that you have in the country, that we have, right? So D-Marts are present in the various states, in the various cities. So similarly, this is the Bharat Mart that will be established in the Dubai, and the foundation stone has already been laid down and the project has already started. So this Bharat Mart will consist of the retail stores from which the people in Dubai, the people in the area can purchase the products of the Indian origin, as well as the Bharat Mart will also have the warehouses from where the exports can happen to the other places, to the other countries around the world. So this is the Bharat Mart. Any confusion in this, in the Bharat Mart, first of all? So it will have the retail spaces and the warehousing. That is the idea. So Reserve Bank has relaxed the norms to facilitate the export through the Bharat Mart, that is a multi-modal logistics network based marketplace. So it is a marketplace that is based on the multi-modal logistics, that there will be a very good connectivity to this Bharat Mart, and it is established, or it is getting established in the Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone. So it is getting established in the Free Trade Zone, okay, in the UAE. That will provide Indian traders, exporters and manufacturers access to the markets in UAE as well as worldwide. So this Bharat Mart, it is providing the access to the UAE customers, the customers in Dubai and the customers in the UAE region, as well as it is providing the access to the markets worldwide through the Bharat Mart. Okay. Now to facilitate export through warehouses in the Bharat Mart, it has been decided to provide the following relaxations. So now we are going to discuss the relaxations after discussing the Bharat Mart. So first of all, the authorized dealer banks. As you know that there are the authorized dealers. There are the authorized dealers. Only these are allowed to take the, let's say, foreign currency and exchange it for rupees, and to take the rupees and exchange it for dollars. So if you want to, let's say you have a lot of dollars, you have come from America and you have a lot of dollars and you want to convert it into rupees, so you will have to go to authorized dealers, or you will have to go to the money changers, full-fledged money changers. Okay, so then you can convert your dollars into rupees. Or let's say you want to go to America, you want to go outside, so you want to convert your rupees into dollars or foreign currency, so you can do it through the authorized dealers. Now they have different categories, but we are not going to go too much in depth. Basically, the authorized dealer banks that are allowed to convert dollars into rupees, foreign currency into rupees, and rupees into foreign currency, they may allow exporters to realize and repatriate. Repatriate, that means receive the money from the exports. If the exporters of our country, they are exporting the product, they will receive the money, they will receive the dollars, they will receive the foreign currency, right? So if the exporters of our country, they are exporting the products, they will receive the money, they will repatriate, or they will bring the money to India. Okay, so if the exporters of our country, they are exporting the product, they are exporting wheat, rice, silk, so they will bring the dollars or foreign currency into our country. Okay, so authorized dealer banks, they may allow the exporters to realize and repatriate, bring back the money for the bring back the full money for the export value of the goods exported to Bharat Mart within 9 months from the date of sale of the goods from the warehouses. So basically the idea is that till now what was happening, that as soon as the products, they were shipped from India to any other country. So within 9 months, it was said that the exporters have to bring the money, exporters have to bring the foreign currency into India. So the products were shipped. It's not like they have been sold. If the products were shipped from India to any other country within 9 months, it was said that the exporters have to bring the money to India. Now for the warehouses, for the Bharat Mart, there is a relaxation that is provided, that now the products that are sold from the warehouses of the Bharat Mart, that is in the UAE, then within 9 months, the money has to be brought to India. That means now it is not related to shipment. In the case of Bharat Mart, the shipment criteria is not being followed. The sale criteria is being followed. Okay. So the authorized dealer banks may allow exporters to realize and repatriate, bring back the full export value of the goods exported to Bharat Mart within 9 months from the date of sale of the goods from the warehouses. So it's not like that so before what was happening, that if the exporters, they were like shipping their products to Bharat Mart. Let's say the exporters, they were shipping their products to Bharat Mart. So it was said that within 9 months, they have to bring the money for their products. Okay. So it was a very tight timeline that was given to them, and they had to make the sale as soon as they can. But now it has been said that the exporters, for the products that they have sold from the warehouses, for those products, they have to bring the money within 9 months. Yes, now the value has to be brought after the product has been sold from the warehouses. That means the exporters have the time now, they can sell the product slowly and slowly at the right price that they want to take. Before, they had to sell it. As soon as the shipment happens, they know that within 9 months, they have to bring back the whole money of the export. So they have to sell the product as soon as they can. But now they have the time, that shipment has happened, the product has reached to the warehouses, but now they can wait for the sale, that okay, this is the right price that I want. So I will sell after 5 months, I will sell after 9 months, I can sell after 11 months at the right price. And when the sale happens, after that 9 months is given to repatriate, to bring back the money. So this is a very big relaxation that is given to the exporters that are exporting the product and that are keeping the product in the warehouses of the Bharat Mart. Okay. So this is the idea. Any confusion in this? Yes, bring back the currency. Okay. So authorized dealer allow exporters to realize and repatriate full export value of goods exported to Bharat Mart within 9 months from the date of sale of the goods from the warehouses. Not shipment. It is sale of the goods when the actual sale is happening. So it is a very big relaxation that is given to the exporters. Okay. Now coming to the next point. So authorized dealer banks. Now here, keep this in mind that authorized dealer banks we are talking about. Here we are not talking about the RBI approval. Here directly the authorized dealer banks, they can allow the following without any preconditions, without any pre-approval from the Reserve Bank of India. That means here the RBI is saying that okay, if it is in relation to the Bharat Mart, these allowances can be provided by the authorized dealer banks. The RBI approval has not to be taken. That means RBI will not get involved. So authorized dealers, they can allow the following without any preconditions after verifying the reasonableness of the same. After verifying that it is reasonable to do so, or after verifying that it is fine to do so. Okay. So pre-approval from the RBI is not mandatory. Just authorized dealers, if they allow, it can be done. So first is opening or hiring of a warehouse in the Bharat Mart by an Indian exporter with a valid importer-exporter code. That means authorized dealer banks, they can allow the opening or hiring of a warehouse in the Bharat Mart by the Indian exporter that has the importer-exporter code. Like we have the Aadhaar card, right? That is the identification of us being the citizen of India. So the Aadhaar card that we have, the Aadhaar card number that we have, this identifies us as the Indian citizens. Similarly, the importer-exporter code identifies the importer or exporter of the country of India. Okay. So opening or hiring of a warehouse is allowed by the authorized dealer banks, can be allowed by the authorized dealer banks without any precondition in Bharat Mart by an Indian exporter with a valid import-export code. Remittances. Now, remittances, that means if the money had to be sent outside, so remittances can be made by the Indian exporter. That means Indian exporter can send the money outside. Indian exporters can send the money outside for initial as well as recurring expenses for setup and the continuing business operation of its offices. That means the Indian exporters, they can send the money to UAE, to outside, for opening their warehouses in the Bharat Mart and running their warehouses in the Bharat Mart. So I hope this is understandable. Okay. So remittances means Remittances means that the money can be sent out by the Indian exporter for initial setup of the warehouse in the Bharat Mart or recurring expenses for the continuing business operations in the Bharat Mart. Okay, so Indian exporters, they can send the money outside to the UAE to establish their warehouses in the Bharat Mart, to set up their warehouses in the Bharat Mart and run their warehouses in the Bharat Mart. This is also allowed without the requirement of the approval from RBI. Directly the approval approval can be taken from the authorized dealers. Okay, clear? Any confusion now, anyone? So this was the first news article. I hope this is very much clear. Now we are going to start with the UPI circle. Any confusion, anyone? So starting with the next news article, that is regarding the UPI circle launched on Bheem app. Okay, so we will discuss about the UPI circle. Basically, NPCI Bheem Services Limited. So NBSL, this is a wholly owned subsidiary of the NPCI. So National Payment Corporation of India. Okay, so it has a wholly owned subsidiary, that is the NPCI Bheem Services Limited. So this has launched the UPI circle feature with partial delegation. Now, what is partial delegation? What is full delegation? That we have to understand. What is this real-time transaction approval? Is it required in partial delegation or full delegation, or which delegation? So all of this we will discuss. But basically, if you go to, like, I joined the Bheem app just to see that, okay, how the UPI circle feature is being provided in the Bheem app. So if you go to Play Store, you can have the Bheem app, and in the Bheem app you will see that, okay, there is the UPI circle that is getting allowed in the Bheem app. So UPI circle feature, UPI circle has been launched on the Bheem app, and here you can see that you can share an account with the UPI circle. So we will discuss about the UPI circle, but this is to show you that in the Bheem app you can access the UPI circle facility. Okay, you can access the UPI circle facility in the Bheem app. So this is the idea, that introducing the UPI circle on Bheem app. Now, what is UPI circle first of all? So first of all, it was launched on 13th August 2024. Here you can see the introduction of UPI circle. This was done by the NPCI, that is National Payments Corporation of India. So UPI circle is a solution where a payer can extend the authorization. Basically, let's say there are parents. Okay, now the child or the son or the daughter, they are going to college. Now the parents, now son or daughter, they want their fee money, or they want the money for buying books or copies, or let's say they want money for buying books, they want money for some recreational activities and such. Now the parents have to, again and again, the son or daughter has to call the parents and ask for the money. Now it is becoming very hectic because maybe sometimes the parents are working and they cannot pick up the calls, and the money has to be taken immediately, or the money is required immediately. So the son and daughter, they are saying to their parents that let's get engaged in the UPI circle. Let's use the UPI circle facility. Now what is this UPI circle facility? In this UPI circle, what happens that the parents, let's say here we are talking about the mother. So the mother, her UPI account, so she is the primary user. It is her UPI account, or it is her UPI ID. Okay, now she will allow her son and the daughter to become the secondary users of her UPI account. So that means the money that is present in the UPI account of the mother can be accessed by the son or the daughter also. Now, how this will happen? Let's understand this. So basically the idea is that UPI circle is a solution where a payer or the primary user, we can say, can extend the authorization to transact from their UPI account to an individual with required limits. So mother can allow her UPI account to be used by the son and daughter with the limits, with the required limits. Okay. So it enables a secondary user, the secondary users are the son and daughter. They can also access and they can also use the UPI account of the mother. So it enables a secondary user to perform transactions from the payer's account with minimum intervention from the payer or from the actual primary user. But the primary user will always, after every transaction, the primary user will be notified that, okay, your son or daughter has taken this much amount from your account. Basically, this is the basic idea, okay? So UPI Circle is a feature, it is a facility where a UPI user acts as a primary user to link with their trusted secondary users. So this is the idea that there are the primary users. Any confusion in the primary user and secondary user? Primary user is basically the person whose UPI account is being used, and the secondary users are the son, daughter, or let's say the grandfather, the grandmother. Okay, so they are the secondary users. So primary user is the person whose UPI account is involved and from where the money will be taken or from where the money will be deducted, and the secondary users are the ones that are connected, that are getting connected to the UPI account of the primary user. Now let's understand about the full delegation and partial delegation, because it is more important to understand. Okay, so primary user can authorize a trusted secondary user for performing transactions within the security protocols or limits. Now in full delegation, what happens? Full delegation means you have the full right to take out the money, and you can even put the pin. So without the involvement of the primary user, you can do the transaction. So you can understand full delegation means that you have full control over the UPI account. So secondary user, the secondary user can have the full control, or secondary user is having the full delegation in which secondary user has the full control of the payment in a way. Okay, so full delegation, the primary user authorizes the secondary user to initiate and complete the UPI transactions, but there are specified limits. Okay, monthly limit is 15,000 only. Monthly limit is 15,000. So you want to give the access to your son or daughter, so the monthly limit is 15,000. You can like, this is the maximum monthly limit that can be set in the full delegation. So in the full delegation, you are giving the full power. So let me just clean this off. So in the full delegation, the primary user is giving full power to the secondary user to take out the money. Okay, they can initiate the transaction. The secondary user can initiate the transaction and can complete the transaction also. But there are predefined spend limits that has to be set. Okay, so primary user authorizes the secondary user to initiate and complete the transactions as per predefined spend limits. Now partial delegation. In the partial delegation, primary user authorizes the secondary user, or primary user authorizes initiation of payment request from secondary user. So in the partial delegation, what happens? In the partial delegation, the primary user is allowing the secondary user to initiate the payment, but the completion will be done by the primary user. So secondary user can initiate the payment. Let's say the secondary user want 20,000 rupees. So the initiation of payment is happening by secondary user, but the pin has to be like, the primary user will feed the pin and then the transaction will be completed. Okay, so this is the idea that partial delegation, primary user authorizes initiation of payment request from the secondary user, but the primary user shall complete a UPI transaction with the UPI pin. So in the full delegation, the initiation of the payment and the completion of payment can be done by the secondary user. In the partial delegation, the initiation of the payment can be done by the secondary user, but the completion of payment with the UPI pin can only be done by the primary user. Any confusion in this, the full delegation and partial delegation? So primary user, so we have discussed about the full delegation, where the primary user is giving the power to the secondary user to initiate the payment and to complete the payment with the pin. Okay, in the partial delegation, the primary user is giving the power to the secondary user to initiate the payment, but the completion of the payment will be done by the primary user. So primary user will have the control, greater control. That we are coming to. Till now clear? Okay. So now a primary user can delegate up to 5 secondary users. So a primary user can have 5 secondary users: your son, daughter, your parents, actually the grandparents, and the grandmother, grandfather, and such. So a primary user can delegate up to 5 secondary users, and a secondary user can accept delegation from only one primary user. That is the idea. Now under full delegation, the primary user can set a maximum monthly spending limit for the secondary user, because in the full delegation, the primary user is giving the complete power to the secondary user, where the secondary user can initiate and complete the payment without the involvement of the primary user. So in this case, because the too much power is going to the secondary user, so that's why there is a monthly limit. The maximum monthly limit of 15,000 is allowed under the full delegation. A maximum monthly limit under the UPI circle, under the full delegation, only a maximum monthly limit of 15,000 is allowed, and maximum per transaction limit of 5,000 is allowed. Now for the partial delegation, as you know, in the partial delegation, the primary user has the power to complete the transaction. That's why in the partial delegation, existing UPI limits shall be applicable in case of partial delegation, because the end power is with the primary user. Next is, members shall ensure that during the cooling off period, that means during the first 24 hours of getting into the UPI circle, a daily transaction limit of rupees 5,000 shall be prescribed after successful linking of primary and their secondary users for both full and partial delegation. For both full and partial delegation, there is a cooling off period of 24 hours when the primary user is getting connected with the secondary user. So a daily transaction limit of 5,000 will be applied in this cooling off period of first 24 hours. Okay. Now the NBSL, that is a fully owned subsidiary of the NPCI, was spun off as NPCI's fully owned subsidiary in 2024. Now developed by NPCI, the BHIM was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2016. So we have discussed about the BHIM app. This BHIM app was launched in 2016, and the NPCI BHIM Services Limited, that is handling the BHIM app right now, it was launched in 2024 as a wholly owned subsidiary of the NPCI. Okay. Now coming to the last point. So here the NPCI BHIM Services Limited, that you can see, has launched the UPI Circle. So the NBSL, that is handling the BHIM app now, it has launched the UPI Circle facility. It has launched the UPI Circle facility with partial delegation. Now only partial delegation is being allowed in the BHIM app. Partial delegation means that the primary users have the power to complete the transaction. That's why real-time transaction approval has to be given from the account holder, from the primary user. Understood? So remember this very clearly, that the NPCI BHIM Services Limited has launched the UPI Circle feature with a partial delegation on the BHIM app, allowing users to securely delegate UPI payment access to trusted individuals to the secondary users with real-time transaction approval that has to be taken from the primary user. So primary user has to complete all the transaction. Okay. So this is the idea. Any confusion here, anyone? Yes, Swapnil. Got it? Now, this is the first question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question. Now, in this case, before going to the second question, let me tell you that there is a perspective 360-degree series. If you are weak in answer writing, or you are thinking that how should I write the answer, how to write the intro, body, conclusion, what all points I have to write, what type of questions come and such. So perspective 360-degree series, this is for you all to write your answers in a very neat and clean manner, in a very good manner, to articulate your answers in a very good manner. There is the perspective 360-degree series taken by Jaskaran sir, and he takes the session on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. In these sessions, you get to know that how to write the answers, as well as you also get to know that what are the current topics that are quite in news or that are quite relevant. So, and what type of questions can come on the current topics. Okay. So this is the perspective 360-degree series that is ongoing on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. taken by Jaskaran sir. That tells you the art of writing the answer, as well as he tells you that how what are the current topics that are ongoing from which the descriptive questions can come. Now this is the first question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question. And this is the second question. So do try to answer this question also. Okay. So this is it for today. Thank you everyone for joining the session, and let's meet in the next session now. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. See you in the next session.